combining your hinge points. In the last several videos I've talked about the 4 hinge points: the shoulder, the elbow, the wrist, and the fingers. In this quick video I'll talk about combining them, give you some ideas on how you can use them together to be more efficient as a drummer. As I talk about these things, it kind of leads to well-known techniques that need their own videos, and I should have up soon for you if they're not already there, and that you can look at to actually see these techniques in more detail. Really, this video is just to kind of sum up those 4 hinge points and give you a little look, a taste of how you can use them in combination to play. So I'm going to start in the French position. Remember, that's our finger position. Now, the French position is your finger and your wrist can work from here. You can get your elbow in on the action here. However, you really can't get your shoulder in the action, because in the French position your hands are in. In order to get your shoulder in, you either have to pull your elbow out or lift. Well, then that takes your hand out of that position in front of you here. So you're really kind of limited elbow down in the French position, which is why that position is known as a soft playing, delicate playing, fingers, speed kind of position. It's not for power because you don't access the shoulder. So to practice using, I would say, your elbow, wrist, and fingers, you could do 8s. And you could do both hands at the same time or from one hand to the other. I'll just demonstrate with my right so you can see. And I'm going to do 8s, groups of 8s, with the first note of 8 being a lift from the elbow. The wrist droops down like a molar. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then fingers. There you see the French in action with the fingers, wrist, and elbow working together. And you're really only using the elbow and wrist for the first sound on the downbeat of 1, followed by 7 finger taps. And that goes back to where I talked about not really using the elbow and the shoulder a lot. Most of your work is in the fingers and wrist. These other 2 hinge points come in to help out, to give a little more power and a little more movement to your sticks. That's French position. In the American position, I can show you 2 different things that kind of work with wrists and fingers, really. When I'm in American, I like to hold the sticks loose and have a nice free stroke. And if I'm playing 8 on a hand, I'm playing like that. And you can see my wrist is moving. I'm not flexing at the elbow at all. My elbow's not moving, although my forearm's wiggling a little. That's coming from the wrist. But my fingers are helping the stick. So I'm using the wrist and fingers to push the stick down, and I'm really just dribbling a basketball right here. The stick is very loose, fingers and wrist combined. So 2 of the hinge points. I could incorporate my elbow, which this would be kind of like playing a rock beat on a drum set where you're playing 8 notes on the hi-hat. You see that? But now we're starting to get into another technique. This is kind of a hybrid Moeller thing, or some people call it the push-pull or the open-close thing, which would be all right. I mean, it's a great technique to have. That's for another video. But that would look like this. If you're going to do the push-pull, I guess it's kind of a hybrid Moeller thing. Open-close, some people call it. You're going down with the wrist, and when you come down, your fingers come off the stick, and then your fingers pull the stick in for the second sound. Maybe you can see it right there, I don't know. Fingers out, fingers in, fingers out, fingers in, fingers out, fingers in. That's known as the push-pull, open-close thing. You can do it from the wrist. It works from the wrist. But you can also get the elbow involved to get a little more on the downbeat, and that's going to help you get a little more speed out of it. And if you want to bring the shoulder into that, you can bring the shoulder into that as well, just by pulling out your elbow and doing that pumping motion right there. That's going to help you get that involved in that. The last thing would be the Moeller technique, where you can use all 4 hinge points at once. And I'll do Moeller Threes. A Moeller Three is 1 hit from the shoulder, elbow, wrist, followed by a finger tap, and then a finger tap left. both arms. Like that. The nice thing about that is if you alternate the right to the left, you can play triplets pretty fast with the Moeller. And there you have it, all four things working together. The lift from the shoulder, elbow to get the first stroke, followed by a tap and a lift. In between that, the left hand is doing the same thing, offset, creating those triplets. Those are just a few ideas that will get you pointed in the direction of using your entire arm, all four hinge points, to maximize your playing and to be the most musical that you can be. Good luck with it.